Cool.
Already got some love. Awesome. We are live, and my name is Tara Carter, and I am flamingoing with Michael Oliveira. Did I just bomb that? I just bombed that. How do I say it?
Oliveira. It's
Oliveira.
All right.
And I love olives, so that's perfect. And
that's what it means.
I'm super excited to interview today because it's hard to be a single agent, and it really does all start with hello. So I have the pleasure to interview the most referred realtor in Nashville. So hi, Michael.
My dog, of course, is going crazy right now. Hello.
Well, thanks for joining us today. I'm excited to learn about your story. I know that you did 11 million last year solo, and you're already on track to double that this year and closer to 20 million. So kudos to you. And you said you counted years in March when you started. Is that correct?
Yeah. So my last year is not over yet. So I got a month to go. But yeah, I count my years in March personally.
I can respect that. And so how long have you been in the business?
Total of about 10 years. California, Tennessee, kind of shifted around, part-time, assistant, work my way up.
And so what does your model look like right now for your team structure for you?
It's just me, and I have a marketing coordinator at Compass that I use for all my bigger branding stuff. And then I have a marketing coordinator that I use for all my smaller stuff, social media, stuff like that. And a full-time transaction coordinator.
Those are key.
Yep.
TCs will change your life. That is for sure. And what are your main sources of business?
Mostly referral. I do a lot of circle prospecting, a lot of neighborhood calling, and mostly realtor to realtor referrals and neighbors. I'm old school. I am so old school. It's not even funny.
And what do you mean in regards to just the belly to belly, door to door knocking? Yeah.
So, the reason I wanted to call it starts with hello is that I'm a big person that's on the phone. I'm on the phone every day, all day. I love to door knock. I don't do it that often as I used to, but I do love it. And I literally talk to everybody. Like anybody that knows me knows I talk to everybody. So yeah, it's belly to belly, 100%.
I love good old belly to belly because I feel like 100%. A lot of people just get so distracted in regards to they forget that it's not the technology so much that will get you the deal. It's actually going to be those belly to belly, one-to-one relationships. And what does it start with?
Hello.
Hello. So what were some of your best conversations that you were having? Let's talk about COVID last year, since this is still a reality for all of us. And so how did your business switch from starting with hello pre-COVID to COVID?
Tennessee, I'm sort of blessed and cursed. I don't know. It's a touchy subject, but Tennessee was sort of more like a Texas and Florida type of model where we still had the outdoor dining and a lot of stuff going on. So I was still able to do a lot of the hellos in person, but it just shifted to more telephone calls. That's it. And I attempted some like online webinar, like home buyer stuff like that, but it was mostly just extra phone calls. I mean, in March and April, I probably made 200 calls a day minimum. I called everybody I knew. And I called everybody I knew in California because there's a lot of people moving here. So I literally called my entire database and circle prospected. And it was totally from a place of giving, it was like, how can I help you? It's crazy times. How can I help you? That's it. And that's my best conversation starter ever. No script, just how can I help you?
And that's pretty awesome. Did you get any really creative answers?
Everyone was just saying thank you. Just a lot of gratitude and thank you. And, I offered to get groceries and stuff like that, but nobody really wanted any assistance, but they were all really happy. And the relationships I built, I mean, I just literally closed last week, like almost $2 million deal from a call that I made in March. That was literally, how can I help you? And it was not even her house. It was her neighbor's house.
So what you're saying is those calls, as simple as, hey, how are you? How can I help you? Actually work, right?
They work the best.
They do work the best. And is there anything that you are doing to go out of your way? Like if somebody's watching this call and they are a first-time agent, and for those that are on the call, if you have any questions, just please make a comment and we will go ahead and answer those. And would you say, what would you say to a new time agent that has like that that scaredness, the phone's really heavy and they don't want to pick it up? Where would you say that they would start?
Circle prospecting. I think if you're going to be a telephone type of agent, if you're going to do a lot of cold calling, I think the easiest conversation to have is going to be calling your neighbors or picking a neighborhood that you want to be in and just calling them, because the conversation is, hey, anything you want it to be, weather, a sale down the street, it could be anything. How can I help you? And is there a way I can help you in the future? And then staying in touch. There really is no better call than that, in my opinion. You can do the expireds and the for sale by owners and all that, but especially as a new agent, I think those can be kind of intimidating and hard. I think the easiest way to build your database is circle prospecting and trying to say hello to as many people as possible.
When you are circle prospecting for those in your neighborhood, what system are you using to pull those phone numbers? And also, how do you introduce yourself in the beginning?
So for a while, I used RedX, but now I use a company called Prospect Boss. They get their numbers from Landvoice, so it's almost like I think all of them come from the same place nowadays. But I don't care too much how I get it or what company it is, as long as I'm actually just talking to people, So I use a company called Prospect Boss, and then I use Line Desk CRM for my cold calls and that sort of stuff. But Compass has their software as well.
Okay. And then when you are introducing yourself, what does that kind of look like? Are you getting a lot of hangups in the beginning, or are you just saying, hey, I'm a local realtor in your neighborhood?
When I used to sell real estate in California, I got a lot of hangups and F-bombs. But it's been actually very pleasant here. It's been very, very pleasant. I mean, most people want to talk. Most people are like, tell me about the market. Most people are very I probably had one person say an F-bomb or be upset, honestly, in 2 years. And most people are almost weirdly grateful you called, and I usually only call neighborhoods where I have a closing, because then it kind of makes it easier to talk about something. And I usually open it with, I sold this, I'm sure you saw my signs, but I sold the house down the street, wondering if anything I can do to help you. And that's it. And then I just stay quiet, and they spill it, or it gets awkwardly quiet. And then I try to just kind of break that boundary. But for my end game is to have a database of friends and relationships than like numbers, than you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's that quality versus quantity.
Yeah.
Because if you're tracking, so when you're putting them into your CRM, let's say you just called somebody in your neighborhood and you just started with hello, and you didn't necessarily get a referral and they didn't really need anything from you, and they asked them, how can you help them? What are you doing now with that contact?
Can I stay in touch? Is it okay with you if I stay in touch? And because it's the South and most people are polite, they're like, yeah, sure. And then I get their email address, and then I'm emailing them once a week or once a month. I don't do a lot of drips and that sort of stuff, but I try to stay in touch, email, and then maybe a follow-up phone call, depending on how the conversation went. Sometimes we're talking about sports and I know their favorite team. And, if there's a game on or something on, then I call them, hey, your team lost, haha, something, just relationship building, and it leads to business. And not right now, which is hard for the new agent to realize, but it leads to referrals and business, because it might not be that person, but it's a friend down the street, that's like, hey, I know the realtor, it just, and it happens quicker than people think, because people give up pretty easily, but give it 6 months, it'll happen.
And let's talk about mindset, because, it's not always easy to just kind of pick up that phone and call people that you don't know at all and just asking them, how can you help them? It's really not that easy. I think COVID actually made the calls a lot easier, at least in my opinion, because the conversations were, no, how are you? That's it, and that's all you needed to ask. What do you do to keep your mindset and your energy highs instead of, having that reluctance to call?
Knowing that I'm not trying to get anything out of it. The whole commission breath comment is pretty popular amongst realtors. I just try to make sure that I'm not trying to get anything out of it other than a friendship and a relationship. It's not even so much, sorry, there's like 20 deer just ran in my front yard and I got just ADD like crazy and I got distracted. They're so cute.
Typical realtor moment. Squirrel. Although I don't have deer, so I have alligators and that's about it.
What was I saying?
So just keep your mindset right in regards to the call reluctance.
Yeah. It's like, how many people can I talk to today? How many relationships can I build? How many friends can I make? Not how am I going to make 30 grand this month? Not, how am I going to get a listing this month? That is what causes the anxiety to me. And I'm a very big, like, spiritual person, and I believe in abundance over scarcity. So knowing that I want to build relationships and just meet people in general. I had a real estate coach in LA, Gage Brock. Well, she was more of a life coach and a business coach than anything. But she was like, actually starts with hello came from her. Her thing was, every single person you come into contact with, start a conversation and end it and throw in real estate somehow, and if the conversation goes well, exchange numbers, and that conversation and follow up with a phone call. If it goes well, get an email address. And you start to build your database, and these are authentic referrals. I also think that referrals are, contacts. Contacts are also more authentic, in my opinion, when you talk to them on the phone or talk to them in person right off the bat, rather than some like lead off an internet ad or something.
Yeah, most definitely. Do you have, listen, I know that I'm not the only one who has gone through this. Has there ever been somebody in your database that you haven't talked to in a while and you need to call them and you haven't called them, and then it's been so long since you called them, then now you're just overthought it in your head and now you just don't want to call them? Have you ever had that happen to you?
Not anymore. In the beginning, a lot. Not anymore, because I'm very blessed where I love every single person in my database.
So you really have focused more on the quality versus the quantity.
Big time. Because I really don't work with people I don't like. I just don't.
Kudos to you, because I'm the same. But in the beginning, I'll take everything and anything. And then eventually you realize what's not worth your energy at all. How did you realize referrals were the way to go?
So when I moved to Tennessee, I was like, shit, I don't know anybody, starting over. And I was like, going through my database and basically deleting everybody like an idiot, like clearing everybody out. And then I joined a team when I first moved here, and I realized that most of that team's business, I would say half of it was referrals, so I'm thinking, I've been in real estate as long as this team leader, I know just as much, if not more, or the same as this person. Like, I think I'm going about this the wrong way and getting rid of my past. Let me go through my past and see, especially now with all so many Californians moving to Tennessee. I'm like, let me go through my past and see who I know. So I sent a mass email to my database of like 6,000 people. Moved to Tennessee, same thing. So I'll let you know I moved to Tennessee. Is there anything I can do to help you? And I probably got like 100 responses saying, congratulations on the move, congrats, blah, 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 And then from there it trickled to, because I used to work for Sotheby's, and if you work in a corporate office like KW or Compass or whatever, you see a lot of emails that come through like, hey, looking for an agent in Nashville, who do you know?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, wait a minute, like, I don't specifically have to know every agent in that office. I just need to have a really, really good relationship with one person. So when that company-wide email goes out, they know to send that person to me. So I called every agent in my database, every agent that I know across the country, and then past builders, past developers, investors. And that was kind of how I made it through my first year. It was a very rough first year, but then after that, it was just exploding, because then it was referral, neighbors, coffee shops, talk to everybody,
What advice do you have for somebody who potentially doesn't have a lot of those realtors that are in their database? Because I agree with you. I have a huge agent-to-agent referral database. So for the agents that don't really know anyone yet and are kind of brand new and haven't even moved markets, do you have any advice for them on how they can grow their agent-to-agent referrals?
It starts with hello.
Very true.
See who's active on social media, see who you would, you're on Instagram all day, right? As an agent, I mean, you're in bed on it. Instagram's like at least an hour of people's day now. Go see who you like and admire and want to work with, and just say hello. And hey, I'm in Tennessee, I'm in Florida. Anything I do to help you? Same thing. It's just the same conversation. If it's authentic, if it's from abundance and it's from relationship building, it's the same conversation. It's just getting to know people.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, the social media obviously is a really good aspect, and being part of groups like LabCoatAgents, the largest connection for realtors in the country, or on all of Facebook, really. So, and that's actually a fact. So in making those one-on-one connections and getting to know more about them, is that what I'm hearing you say?
Yeah. And then some of the big people, like you mentioned lab coats. Like I've known Tristan for a long time. And it's like, hey, Tristan, we have so many people moving from this area, and this area to Tennessee. Who do you recommend I talk to in these areas? Oh, I know this person. I know this person in Florida. I know this, it's just a matter of reaching out and saying hello and,
saying hello. How are you?
Yeah.
What can I do to help you? It's so easy. Why do you think we I was gonna say, why do you think we overcomplicate it or like overanalyze it, and we don't even want to ask? So they're like, oh, they're not going to say anything, or, maybe they're too successful, they're too busy, that I don't want to ask. Why do you think we do that?
Fear.
Fear of rejection.
Fear of rejection. Usually some sort of self-centered form of fear. Because if you get rid of that self-centered fear, all that's left is like regular fear, which is pretty easy to break once you say hello, once you talk to somebody. Yeah.
Facts. So do you have any sort of touches that you are doing for the ones that you have? Obviously you had the conversation, you said hello. Now where are they going? Are they going to your CRM? Are you doing any touches for them? Are you sending them anything as a thank you card?
Yeah. So I do a lot of calls because I like actually, I'm a chit chatter. People that know me know that I like to just kind of, man, it was cold. I mean, I would be talking about this weather for at least a month, and kind of just call people. It takes a lot of time to call people though. So I kind of, we all have those people in our database that refer you nonstop, or are like your most loyal clients. Like, dude, I told all my, I started a new job and everybody knows about you. Those people, I try to call them at least like once a year, every 6 months, to kind of just have a nice convo, go to lunch, go to dinner, that sort of stuff. And then I try to do an email every week, once a week. I'm not a big drip campaign person. I'm sure you can figure that out by me by now. I'm not, I'm all, I'd rather do a personal custom newsletter from the heart and what's going on the ground than like, top 5 kitchen colors,
Oh, you don't want to pay for the services that just send out things that they think of and are not authentically you?
Yeah, exactly. And then I'll do like stop buys, like holiday and birthday stop buys, or gift cards, stuff like that.
What holiday is your favorite for pop buys?
Hanukkah, Christmas.
Okay.
I think people are in like a holiday mood. They're appreciative of the random gifts because they're so busy buying gifts for other people. They're like, I did a really good one last year, and everyone just loved it. I mean, everyone kind of reached back and said, "Oh my God, thank you so much." $10. If you go early enough to Costco, they have corporate gifts, and I really like their gift baskets. But they had this little like porcelain bowl, really nice bowl. Actually, I think I have one I use, and it had like cookies and like snacks and crackers, and it was already wrapped with a note and a bow on it for like $9.
Score.
So my top clients, and not even my top clients, pretty much, I would say like my top 50 all got that hand delivered. It took me like 3 days, hand delivered. Then I sent gift cards and Christmas cards,
Smart. I like that. So do you have a reminder in your CRM when to have conversations with these people?
Yeah, I do. It just depends on what that conversation is. So it's kind of sporadic, but like the example I gave you with the sports thing, like, that's dependent on like the next game. I'll do birthday touches. Just kind of depends on how the conversation goes. But our Compass CRM has the ability to kind of customize that.
Oh, that's awesome. I always say the best CRM to use is whatever one you're actually going to use.
I used Excel. I
still use Excel.
Yeah, I used it up until like 3 years ago.
I mean, listen, you gotta, whatever works for you. Sometimes a good old paper and pen. I mean, honestly, whatever works for you. I think that we just get too focused on the systems as opposed to just using whatever we're actually going to use. And so my other question for you is, so you're basically, and you're Nashville's most referred agent. Are you tracking?
I don't know where that came from, by the way. I'm not even sure if that's true, but I do get a lot of referrals.
Well, I love that you are honest about that. So that's, well, whoever has said that obviously thinks that way of you, because that's how you
Tristan.
So that's a plus. So my question would be, so are you tracking, like, how do you know that you're on track for your goals? Are you tracking your goals? Are you looking at how many referrals you need per month? Or are you looking at how many deals you need per month? Like, how are you tracking it?
I do deals, because I think that lead source, whether it's sphere of influence, referral, cold calling, Facebook ad, they all kind of go into the same. Well, they go into a pool, then they're like divided. So I do keep track of like what, ROI and that kind of stuff. But I just look at deals per month. I try to do 2 deals a month.
And are you accounting for your fallouts? Like, are you, like, for whatever your percentage is, like, if you have 4, are you counting for maybe 1 to be a fallout, so you're at 2, or are you're like 2, I need to close per month, let me line it up?
2, I need to close per month, let me line it up. And if it's not 2, it's 3 the next month.
So you do carry it over. So what he's saying is that if his goal was 2 this month and he only got 1, next month means it's 3. If next month you only did 2, well, the next month you're doing 4, because you have to carry them over.
So the reason I said it's not March and it's not over yet is because I have 6 deals pending right now and closed 4 just last week. So that kind of shifts the numbers out. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's so dramatic with real estate. But before that, I remember I had like 4 months of like nothing. So that's those 4, that 1 week made up for that other. I look at I kind of check in every quarter to see where I'm at.
Oh, you mean we don't just get 4 or 5 deals every single month, and then some days we're a little dry? Is that what you're saying?
Only if you're Tristan.
This is true. So I think it's really important to emphasize that those that are newer in the business or are thinking about getting in the business or have been in the business and you don't have any deals in your pipeline, you have to have some sort of reserves. And then when you get your 4 deals, I'm sure that you closed last week, I mean, it's also like you're making up for the other months that you didn't have any. So you need to build your pipeline up to make sure that they're always coming through, because you never know. You never know when you're going to have a little dry spell.
No, you don't. That's why it's so important to talk to so many people. You cannot be, you can, because I think there's a personality for everybody out there, but it's very difficult to be a shy agent or a secret agent. A
secret agent, or if you are not really interested in talking to people. If it's easy to talk to people and you like people, there are other avenues for real estate though. If they don't want to be the front of the house, they don't have to be. They can, if they're a high S or C in the disc profile, being an admin or working in property management. There's just so many different avenues. I think people get caught up in, well, I have to sell residential, or I have to sell commercial, or I have to sell luxury. And it's like, no, there's like 300 different jobs that you could do in real estate and still be in real estate.
Totally.
I think that's important. We did have a question from Larry that he was asking, what was the name again for the leads that you were getting?
Prospect Boss.
Prospect Boss. That's actually a new one that I have not heard of. So I'm glad you shared that one.
They get all their numbers and stuff from Land Voice.
Ooh, I like that. What advice would you have for a newer agent or someone who doesn't really have a strong pipeline at the moment?
I would say the don't be a secret agent thing. Kind of what my business coach told me in the beginning, talk to everybody. I would just spend, I actually have a family member like that right now trying to be an agent, and I'll call, it's like, hey, what are you doing? Oh, I'm just here working on my database. I'm like, oh yeah, how? Just getting my social media together. Okay, what does that mean? Like there's a lot of time wasting going on. If you have nothing to do, make 1 trillion phone calls. 1 trillion. I made 1,000 calls a day once. At some point in my career, just talk to as many people as you can, and don't be a secret agent. That's like, I think that's the biggest thing.
I'm usually tired after my bold 100s that we would do, which was 100 contacts in one day. And
I've done that.
that is not easy, man. That's not easy. I remember the one time I did it, the first time I did it, I did an open house for 4 hours. I went to the farmer's market before the open house, went to the farmer's market, went to the open house, then didn't have enough contacts, got on the water taxi and talked to everybody, and then stopped at different venues, and then finished at like 11 p.m. at night. I mean, it took me all day. And I don't even think I got a referral out of it. It was just, I think it was the goal of accomplishing that task at that particular moment. And it was brand new in my career. So
Honestly, that's another suggestion. You know, I started with Sotheby's, and I was with Keller Williams for a little bit, and now I'm with Compass. But when I was at Sotheby's, I still did 2 bolds. I think that Keller Williams, whether you believe in KW or not,
it doesn't even matter.
It doesn't matter. It's a great program, and it kind of gets rid of that fear. It gives you the experience. It's a great thing to do.
I guess the whole reason and preface around it, because one, I had so much energy after I was done. And then secondly, I realized the whole purpose of it is to show you that 20 contacts a day is really doable if you can do 100 in a day.
Absolutely. And even if it's 5, it's still 5 more than you had yesterday or that morning. Even if it's
totally.
1, you know, and that's the thing. Like, people get so caught up on the numbers. It's like, I need to have 20. If I don't have 20, my life is over, and I'm not going to make my 30 grand, and it's scarcity all over again.
Yes. 1
new relationship is more than you had yesterday. Just take the action and trust the results on its own. You know?
I like that. I always say, jump off the cliff and build your wings on the way down.
Yep.
So have you had any mentors or somebody who's like really like helped you throughout your career, and how did you go about finding a mentor?
A lot of different ways, to be honest. And I've been blessed with some of the best mentors, I think, in the country. Without getting too much into it, if somebody wants to reach out to me separately, they can on Facebook. But used to be homeless, and had a little bit of a problem in life. And I was able to kind of just meet, you know, I learned how to ask for help very early on. So I used to go, remember, I don't know if people still use Meetup. Remember Meetup?
Yeah.
That app. So I would just go to a bunch of different groups and kind of network and ask for help. And throughout the years, asking for help in different various events and groups and stuff, I met a real estate agent. And this real estate agent said, "Hey, you're really good with people. When I see you at these events, do you want to, you know, help me with putting out open house signs?" You know, I said, "Sure, give me $50 a day. I'll put out, you know, put signs out, you know."
Yeah.
But you know, it's so important to just be able to ask for help, and you'll get the mentors that you want. But I've had some amazing mentors. I mean, I have a mentor that's a millionaire real estate agent, a couple of them, billionaire developers, you know, attorneys, doctors. You know, it's funny, I have a client that's a doctor that actually studied in Wuhan and like is an infectious disease doctor. He's the first person I called in March. What do I do? You know, so just being able to ask for help and it's just, you know, yeah, you just get a mentor, anybody you want. You'll be surprised. You'll be surprised with who wants to help you.
But you have to actually ask for help.
Yeah.
I think that's the difference.
But I'm always blown away. Like, you'll be surprised with who actually wants to help you. Successful people absolutely love to help.
They do. Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I don't know. But I know that every successful person that I know loves to help, and they're very generous.
Well, I also believe, you know, generosity is the highest form of energy. So I think that personally for me, you know, helping others gives me such energy, and it makes me feel like I accomplished something for the day. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I can see that. When I give, I'm motivated and pumped for sure.
What kind of books or podcast or Audible? Books and Audible are pretty much the same. What kind of stuff are you reading at the moment that's kind of keeping your mindset?
So I'm kind of rereading a very weird one. I got married and pregnant within like 60 days. So it's been a kind of a wild beginning of the year. So there's a book that I really like that I'm kind of rereading that I read actually like 10 years ago. And I'm rereading. It's called The Way of the Superior Man. the spiritual guide to mastering the challenges of women, work, and desire.
Oh, nice.
And then I would say my a book that I go to on a regular basis is also The Sermon on the Mount by Emmett Fox. 2 non-business books.
I've actually never heard of those.
Oh, Sermon on the Mount is a great book. But it's funny enough, my number 1 business book is MREA.
Really? Yeah. I mean, that's a gold one. That's called the Bible for real estate agents. That's the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book that he's referring to, which if you don't have it, I think that one, I am on my 3rd color of Post-it notes in there, because every time you go back, you get something else. You're in a different position in your career. And I think that that is super helpful. Are you listening to any podcast?
Where's my phone? Yeah, I listen to a lot of podcasts, a lot of political stuff and occasional real estate investing stuff and stuff like that. But currently listening to, I had to write it down, The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy.
That's a good one. I used to listen to him on YouTube like every morning pre-COVID.
You know what? The new agents, there we go. MREA, do a bold, make a bunch of phone calls, and listen to The Compound Effect. That's it.
I mean, that's pretty simple. And success is simple, not easy. That's for sure.
Because all the calls and all the relationship building, that's all the compound effect. That's all it is.
Most definitely. And if agents wanted to reach out to you to be able to ask you any questions or maybe look for some mentorship, what is the best way for them to connect with you on Instagram or Facebook, and as well as your phone number?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram, M for Michael, Olive, OLIVE _ Homes, HOMES.
That makes it easy. I did a little stalking. I liked the branding that you had, and you just did a really sweet thing for your wife yesterday and her coworkers. So kudos to you as well.
Thank you.
Before we jump off, obviously this is starting with hello. It is all about the conversation. I think just don't overcomplicate things. Literally just ask people, how are you? How can I help you? Start it with hello. If you don't even reach out to them and start a conversation with hello, then you're not going to get anywhere. So start with hello. And do you have any other advice for them besides we're going to MREA, listen to The Compound Effect, Bold 100, and make those calls that start with hello?
Yep. I would say my last thing of advice is trust the process, stay out of the results.
I like that. And before we go, is there anything that I should have asked you that I did not ask you that you think that is important?
Way more than I had enough coffee to prepare for. So we're good.
Well, you did great and you're awesome. And I hope some others got value from this and they reach out to you. And thanks for mingling with us today.
Thank you. Thank you guys a lot. It really means a lot to me. And I'm glad that we're now Instagram friends.
Yes, we sure are. All right. I'll see you guys soon. Have a fabulous day.